If you missed the readings of the previous chapters, don't worry. You can visit the channel and watch the previous videos of the readings. Be sure to check them out and keep up with this journey. The Word of God is an inexhaustible source of wisdom and inspiration, always reaching us at the right moment. So, don't hesitate to share this video with your friends and family. Perhaps someone you know needs to hear today's Bible reading. Now, let's dive into the reading of Proverbs chapter 5, verses 1 to 23. Prepare yourself to receive powerful wisdom and precious guidance for your daily life directed by God. Proverbs chapter 5, verses 1 to 23 says, "My son, pay attention to my wisdom. Lend your ear to my understanding, that you may preserve discretion, and your lips may keep knowledge. For the lips of an immoral woman drip honey, and her mouth is smoother than oil. But in the end she is bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword. Her feet go down to death. Her steps lay hold of hell. Lest you ponder her path of life. Her ways are unstable. You do not know them. Therefore hear me now, my children, and do not depart from the words of my mouth. Remove your way far from her, and do not go near the door of her house, lest you give your honor to others, and your years to the cruel one, lest aliens be filled with your wealth, and your labors go to the house of a foreigner, and you mourn at last, when your flesh and your body are consumed, and say, how I have hated instruction, and my heart despised correction. I have not obeyed the voice of my teachers, nor inclined my ear to those who instructed me. I was on the verge of total ruin, in the midst of the assembly and congregation. Drink water from your own cistern, and running water from your own well. Should your fountains be dispersed abroad, streams of water in the streets? Let them be only your own, and not for strangers with you. Let your fountain be blessed, and rejoice with the wife of your youth, as a loving deer and a graceful doe. Let her breasts satisfy you at all times, and always be enraptured with her love. For why should you, my son, be enraptured by an immoral woman, and be embraced in the arms of a seductress? For the ways of man are before the eyes of the Lord, and he ponders all his paths. His own iniquities entrap the wicked man, and he is caught in the cords of his sin. He shall die for lack of instruction, and in the greatness of his folly he shall go astray. Proverbs 5 offers a profound and timeless warning about wisdom and faithfulness, themes that resonate powerfully even in our current times. As we examine these verses, we are invited to reflect on the importance of personal and moral integrity in a world filled with temptations and distractions. The chapter begins with a paternal exhortation. The author, traditionally considered Solomon, calls for attention to knowledge and prudence. Today, this call to wisdom is more relevant than ever. We live in an age of information overload, where discerning what is true and wise requires conscious effort. Wisdom, in this context, is not just an accumulation of data, but the ability to judge rightly and live with integrity. The following verses describe the seduction of the adulterous woman as a path to destruction. The passage uses the metaphor of marital infidelity to represent any form of temptation that leads us away from the path of righteousness. In today's world, we are constantly bombarded by promises of instant gratification, whether through material goods, momentary pleasures, or moral shortcuts. Like in the biblical text, these temptations often prove deceptive and destructive in the long run. The warning continues through the verses, highlighting the consequences of following the path of imprudence and infidelity. It reminds us of the instability and insecurity that accompany the lack of integrity. When we stray from our core values, we lose direction and clarity in our lives. Today, this can manifest in various ways: fractured relationships, loss of personal and professional trust, and a general sense of emptiness and dissatisfaction. The proposed solution is clear: drink water from your own cistern, running water from your own well. This advice promotes faithfulness and contentment with what we rightfully possess. In a world that often encourages us to seek more, to be dissatisfied with what we have, this message is revolutionary. It calls us to value and cultivate our own relationships, talents, and resources, rather than seeking happiness in external and potentially destructive sources. To conclude, the chapter ends with a reflection on divine justice and the inevitable consequences of our actions, saying, "For your ways are in full view of the Lord, and He examines all your paths." This verse reinforces the idea that, although we might deceive others or even ourselves, our actions are always visible to God. It reminds us of the importance of personal responsibility and honesty in all areas of our lives. In summary, Proverbs 5 verses 1 to 23 offers a powerful and enduring lesson on the importance of wisdom, faithfulness, and integrity. In our modern era, where distractions and temptations abound, these words invite us to deeply reflect on our choices and seek to live according to values that promote true happiness and inner peace. By following these principles, we not only avoid the dangers of imprudence but also build a life of meaning and purpose, grounded in eternal wisdom. May each word of Proverbs be like a seed planted in your heart, growing daily and guiding your steps with wisdom. We are committed to continuing this journey of learning through the reading of the entire book of Proverbs, absorbing God-inspired instructions for our lives. If you missed the previous chapter of Proverbs, I invite you to watch it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate notifications to closely follow the upcoming videos of the Proverbs reading and our other content. I wish that your life be illuminated by the light of divine wisdom and that peace reign in your heart. See you soon.